It'll be slightly abstract because this is going to be done over the next hour, maybe hour and a half, just depending on how it goes. So we're starting with this 24 by 24 panel and 3 colors plus black and white. Well, probably just white because this scenery doesn't have any heavy shadows in it. And the 3 colors are magenta, turquoise, and yellow. And I'm live today on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram on this camera. So thanks for being here. And if there are any questions along the way, please feel free to send a message. If you're watching the replay, just keep that in mind. You can always ask anything that needs to be known about the art or about being an artist or anything like that. So let's get started. So one thing I have not mentioned much in these broadcasts or ever is, like while I'm teaching y'all how to do stuff, I haven't talked about how it's really imperative to, like, especially with this where we're painting a more realistic scene, it's helpful to paint the background first. So that's what I'm going to do, is start with sort of like a little bit of a sky feeling up here. I will want to mix in a little bit of the white color with this turquoise because the turquoise does dry really dark. Hey Ahar, nice to see you. Hey UTA, nice to see you too. I don't really have any rules in my mind about how dark I want this sky to be, so I'm just going to kind of wing it, see how it goes. Hola, Agave Arte, ¿cómo está? And what I'm planning to do today is paint a mountainous scene. And again, I don't really have a very solid plan. I have a little bit of a reference photo that I'm looking to over here to the whatever side that is, because there's on one of these cameras it flips the camera into a mirror. So I'm not going to say if it's left or right, because one camera is left and one camera is right. And Agave Arte says, muy bien, gracias, gusto en verte otra vez. Let's see. Would you like to hear it again? Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, so starting with this sort of skyish kind of sky background over here. I'm going to try and extend the sky. It's going to need to go to at least about here. That's my little dog. She's very excited to be outside. Pepper! Sorry about the noise. Pepper! Pepper! Maybe I can get her to come over here and say hi. Hi, Miguel. Nice to see you. So today's painting is based on a mountain scene, so it'll be a little bit more of, a little less abstract, although it won't be totally photorealistic or anything like that. It's still definitely going to look like a painting, but I'm starting now with kind of a feeling of the sky, and when I paint the mountains, they're going to be coming up to about here, so I am just painting anything. I'm painting the sky to make sure I'm gonna get the full coverage. So let's see, today is Thursday. It's April 30th and the year is 2020. Hi Shalabella, nice to see you. Okay, so just going to continue with working on this background a bit. Okay, so just making sure that there's lots of color back there to be the background that's going to be needed. And I'm already getting bit up by mosquitoes, but I've got my citronella here, so I'm going to go ahead and apply some so I'm not dancing around in front of the camera, trying to swat off these mosquitoes. Silly. I think I meant to apply it before going live, but oh well, now is better than never. Okay. What else? So I'm going to look at my reference photo, which I have over on this side. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the mountain shapes. And for those, I want to make like a little bit of a brown color. So I'll be mixing the magenta, the yellow, and the turquoise all together to make that very dark, very neutral color.
Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshana, Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshana.
For now, just kind of sort of mapping out where the mountains will go.
Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshana, Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshana.
And then I'm going to make sure I have all three colors in there. And please let me know if there's any questions about anything as I go. It may be a bit of a slow process, but when it's all said and done, it'll feel pretty fast.
Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshana.
me find a place to set this can of oil.
निज पथ प्रीत सद्गुण निरुपति स्फीठ षड्गुण निगम निर्व्यूढ वैभव निज पद व्यूह वैभव हरिहय
That sure is feels like a very green color and happening on these mountains. So opposite of green on the color wheel is red, but I don't really paint with red, so I'll be adding a bit more pink to try to turn it into some brown. There we go. And I can see like little yellow things poking through, and that's okay. It's kind of nice sometimes to have a little bit of an accent color. It doesn't have to be perfectly blended or anything like that. Hey Nikki Ray, I'm going start to finish on a landscape painting today, and it's going to be like a little mountainous scene with a lake. So far I've got the sky painted, starting on just kind of color blocking in the mountains in. And one thing I haven't said yet is, and you guys might have seen this if you've been watching the broadcast, but I feel like just using the combinations of colors, like so in this case I'm only using the turquoise, magenta, and yellow. And so if I need a brown, I'm going to mix the brown out of those three colors. If I need a purple, I'm going to mix the purple out of those three colors. If I need any color, I'm going to mix that color using the three colors that I already have. And I feel like what that does is kind of give the painting a cohesiveness that can't really be put into words, but it's something that the painting will start to feel very, I don't know, it'll just naturally have that relaxing feel. And I don't know, people have often told me that my paintings are relaxing and are peaceful, and I believe that's one of the things that leads to the paintings being that way. Great, so I'm going to continue working on these mountain shapes. And you really don't have to do the brush strokes the same way that I do them. I think it's better to kind of find your own way with how the brush strokes work for you. I feel like that's what makes each painter have their own style, is like the way we do our own brush strokes. I mean, there's a lot of things that contribute to a painter's style, but I really don't want to give too many instructions on brush strokes. Just say, okay, make the shape how you would make the shape. And then you'll figure out what works for you and what doesn't. Right. I'm over here looking at my reference photo, so if you see me looking that direction, that's what I'm doing. And it's a painting that I've done something similar before, or it's a photo that I've done something similar in a painting before, but this will be like a smaller, more manageable version for the live stream. Okay. Sometimes, like if I don't know what to paint, I just put in the color and see, like, is that going to work there? Yeah, and then if not, it can always be painted over.
Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshan.
Okay, so also as I'm painting now, I'm noticing that I maybe didn't put enough of the sky background down, so I'm going to have to go back and do that, which is totally fine. Got a lot of time today. But I am washing the brush off a little bit just to get some of that extra color. Hey, is that Joy? Hey, Joy. Alright, so getting a little bit of paint and water off the brush here. Just getting ready to add more to this sky background. And I am planning to cover up a lot of this with trees too, so that's another good thing is like things don't really have to be perfect as you go. And then I want to get some white on my brush anyway, but as I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of a snow kind of feeling to the mountains. So right now I'm putting a little bit of white on the brush. So got my little white here, and I'm going to add just, I don't want it to be real pronounced. Here, I better mix it in first. Okay, so then I just want to very lightly add what feels like a little bit of a abstract kind of a snow feeling over here. And that may be a little too dark, that's okay. We can always kind of go back over that. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Just real lightly add some of that texture. This is fun. Let's go ahead and call this one a mountain peak. I may need to go add some solidness to this mountain peak over here. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and block out where we want the snow. Okay, cool. See how fast that like transforms into a very three-dimensional kind of feeling there. And let's add just a little bit of these. Kind of be like little white highlights to give it a bit of a dimension there. Hey Giuseppe, nice to see you. Okay, so as always, please feel free with any questions, any comments. Feel free to say hello. I'd like to hear how your Thursday is going. It's Thursday, April 30th. And then that mountain right there is getting a little bit lost. So I'm going to mix that brownish color. Alpha Grop says hola. Hola, Alpha Grop. Miguel says, what am I listening to? I'm listening to, it's an Indian chant. It's on YouTube. MoCap says hello. Hi MoCap, nice to see you. Sorry guys, hold on a second. A small disaster on the patio. Alright, I had a painting sitting over there and it fell over. So yeah, so I was mixing up a little bit of this brown color that's going to go on some mountain here. And first I need to find some yellow paint for that. Got the yellow. Now going to get a little bit of the mocap. Says, are you self-taught? In a way, yes. In a way, no. I've taken a few classes. And also I went to school for graphic design. And so I have a lot of experience with composition and color and things like that. But nothing could have prepared me for being a painter by trade. I really don't know how any painter is not self-taught. It feels like even if someone takes a bunch of classes, there's just so much to do. Okay, the next layer. Mocap says, are you streaming on Facebook? Yes, I am. I'm streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Although there's 3 streams on this camera and 1 stream on this camera. Okay, so going to I want to make a bit more of a greenish kind of color to represent some, I think it's going to be like some foliage and plants in the foreground. And then just for some dimension, I'm going to extend this furthest mountain here. I'm going to go ahead and extend this part into this area a little bit more. So let me mix up that color a little bit first before I continue. And I'm not really going to mix it up off of camera, I'm going to mix it on the canvas because that's how I do. Trying to get some yellow on my brush, but my yellow paint is kind of dried up. So yellow, mix on that, and then I want a lot of this color, the magenta, to kind of make it a lot more neutral. Getting some more of the brown that I'm looking for. Mocap, do you have any more questions? Please feel free. I'm kind of sensing some interest in what I'm doing as far as the question about being self-taught and stuff, so thanks for asking about that. And Ahar says, I gotta run, thanks for sharing creativity with us. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Okay, so I will go ahead and continue here with when it gets on one color, like in this case it's feeling too green, so then that's how I know I need to add a little bit more magenta. Oh, and Miguel, if you're still watching, if you want me to send you a link If anybody is watching and wants me to send them a link to this music that I'm listening to, please feel free to send a message, and I can do that after the stream. Mountain is looking just a little bit pink. Agave says I would like to have the link too. Oh, cool, yeah. Please just send a message, like a private message, so that I can remember. Otherwise, I'll probably forget. Yeah. And NoCap says, do you have your artwork online? Yes, I do. And I will type the link real quick. It's artsoelectric.com. My neighbors are doing their yard work. Okay. Oops, sorry. A little bit of that. Okay, so next I'm going to continue with some of these greenish colors that are, so like first I have the sky, and then there's the mountains, and then next are this kind of greenery stuff over here, foliage, and I'm going to continue with that in this foreground. Let me step back and look and see how that is. Alright. And I'm sorry about the noise. If you're still here, thank you. Maybe someday I'll be able to afford a recording studio. Hey, Josh. It looks like the next step will be, I'm going to paint like a little Mocap says you do digital arts. Yes. Digital art was how I started. I didn't become a painter until a few years ago. So digital art was all I knew for most of my life. And now I'm happy to do art by hand, but back then digital art was really fun and was a great source of, I don't know, it just helped me be really creative. Okay. So, next thing to paint looks like, from the reference photo, it looks like the next thing is a little bit of a, kind of like a lake feeling over here. So I'm going to go ahead and get any extra paint off the brush, and then I'll be going for a lake that's sort of the same color as the sky, but maybe a little bit lighter. Hey there! So far it's darker, but that's why I'm going to go ahead and add some white now. And for water, I feel like it's really important not to blend too much, like to leave quite a few brush strokes, because it helps it look a little bit more watery. And Josh says that the Twitch stream is not really working, so sorry about that, everybody, if you're watching on Twitch. Let's try. To me, what makes water look really watery is having nice little white highlights in there that kind of represent the light or the sun reflecting off the water. So I'm gonna make sure to add that in there. And I think probably I will want a nice defined line between the sky and the lake, so I'm going to add that here. Okay, so again, white highlights, blue lowlights, all of these are going to contribute to having that water look real watery. Thanks for being here and saying hi. I have a very nice head shape. Thank you. I've worked on it for a long time. Hey, Instagram, sorry about that. I flipped the camera around. Okay. So, and also the comment about I have a very nice head shape. I'm not joking. I have worked on it for a long time. Okay. So, let's see. I feel like the next thing to do is mix. Yep. The intention of this show is to create peace. Sometimes that happens and sometimes that doesn't. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of a brown color. I'll be creating like a little bit of a foreground kind of shore. And then when I do that, I'll also use it to touch up some of these mountains back here. There's a lot of star jasmine. It's all over my neighbor's yard. Hey, Dana. start laughing at the really loud noise. Sorry, I don't know if y'all can hear me or. Hey, Randy. We're going to start to finish on a landscape painting today. If anyone's out there and wants me to be able to do these live streams without the leaf blowers and all the other loud noises, maybe someone wants to pitch in, buy me a recording studio. Anyway, I don't know. That just sounds like way out of the question at this point, but sometimes it's better to put things out there. Foreground shore kind of thing. Next, I would like to add some, I want to do a few trees here. We're going to do some happy little trees. So the first color I'll need for that is that same brownish kind of color that was just being used for that foreground shore. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that color right onto the canvas in the foreground shore area, and then go back and use that paint to make the tree trunks first. And my teacher, Clinton Millsop, would say, I've only taken one class with him, but it was only like a 3-day class, but he taught me more in those 3 days than I learned in a lot of other places. Josh says, I feel like the leaf blower guy is about to get beat up. Woo! Yep. He might though. But yeah, so one thing Clinton Millsap would say is that there's no straight lines in nature. So anytime I'm painting and I want something to look a little bit natural, try not to use too many straight lines, if any at all. The only time I use a straight line is if I'm making something shiny. Or like if I'm painting something that's really in focus and is like actually straight, like if I were painting a cup with chopsticks or something, I don't know. Yeah, so this is a tree trunk and it is not a straight line. It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of tree trunk-ish. Although these are, they're supposed to be like those pine trees that have really straight trunks, but I do want it to be a little bit more natural. So let's see, what other trees do I want to do here? And do I want this tree? I might want this tree to extend to here. Hey, it died down right as I stopped talking. Okay. One tree trunk. It's like as soon as I start talking, the leaf blower starts going. So I think I'll want to. Let me think. Do I want three trees in this painting? More? 5 trees in this painting? I like odd numbers, so maybe 5. I don't know. My reference photo has 5 trees, so we'll see. There are 2 tree trunks. And Lady Luna says, I hope you have a great time painting. Looks good. Thank you, Lady Luna. Great to see you. Okay, so 2 tree trunks and a 3rd. Alright, let's go down to the 3rd one. And I'm going to do 2 trees on the other side of the lake, so over here. Alright, we got our 5 tree trunks going. So now, the fun part, the leaves of the trees. And they're kind of a bluish green, not really a straight green. So let's see if I can. I'm going to go ahead and take one of my trash canvases and use it as a palette. I'm going to use this piece of cardboard as my palette. I don't even normally use palettes, I'd rather just mix. on the painting, but today I'm feeling a little crazy. I'm gonna work on it a bit. I can't even get the yellow out of the can. There we go. Yellow. A lot of yellow. And blue, which is really a turquoise color. Josh says, "What's my inspiration for this piece today? Have you been binge watching the joy painting?" Yes, I have. I mean, binge watching isn't really exactly what I've been doing, but yeah, I've definitely been inspired by that. And someone that I know has a photo that they took in Banff, and I can't say that word, but it's in Canada. It's at National Park in Canada. It's of a really beautiful lake in front of some mountains and halo pancakes. Okay. First, I want to do like the very darkest leaves in the background, and those are not dark enough at all. I'm going to get a little bit more of a dark color. So I really want to get a dark color going down on the leaves first. And this is like so fun and easy painting these trees. Okay, here's one kind of start retreat. It's a lot of it's a very shadowy kind of feeling. So what I'll do later is go in and add highlights. But for right now, it's just the low light part of the tree. Okay, again, I'm feeling like this is definitely just a kind of a preliminary start on these trees, and a lot of things in paintings don't come to life until the white highlights are added later. So, in this case, the highlights may not be pure white though, it'll probably be a little bit of a green mixed with white or something like that. Make it more interesting. Robert Cosby's Instagram makes me stop after an hour, so I'm gonna have to stop the broadcast and then turn it back on. So if you are watching on Instagram, I'll say bye for now and then I'll go live again. So come find me again in a few seconds. Alright, let's try it again. Get these Instagrammers back. Okay, and live again. Just continuing the broadcast from earlier. So let's keep it going. Painting these are the low lights, the shadowy parts of the trees so far. One of these sides on the tree just looks a little bit more fat to me than the other side, so I'm trying to see. Hey Josh, hey Robert, great to see you guys. This side. Yeah, that'll work. I'm gonna keep on adding lowlights to these other two trees over here. Interesting. So we have us some trees. Hey Miguel, welcome back. Had to stop the broadcast because Instagram only allows for an hour at a time. Alright, what questions do y'all have? What can I help you with? What do you guys want to talk about? I'm gonna do some lighter colors on these trees now, because right now they're very dark. So I'll be mixing in. So far, I've got a little bit of yellow. Just gonna mix that in with the green that's already there. Turn it into a lighter green, and that will serve as a very nice paint for highlights. Yeah, no, that's a great question. Robert is asking what the green I am using is, and I've talked about this a few times on these broadcasts. This is my favorite color. It's called Turquoise Deep. Oh, and Instagram, I think, flips the camera around as a mirror. So Turquoise Deep and Liquitex, it's the best color. And I used it to make the sky, to make the lake, and realistically, I didn't have to mix it much with anything to make that really dark color on the trees so far. It just kind of, when it dries by itself, like without being mixed with anything, it kind of has like this real generic dark color that could either be green or blue. So for the low lights, I'm not really using, I didn't mix it with anything. I'm not positive that I even want to use this yellow now that I'm looking at it. I don't know. I'm going to try and see how it goes. I may end up painting over this later. And if you've seen my work before, you may have seen a painting very similar to this one. And so that's how I kind of sort of know like what I might want to paint, might not want to paint, what might work, what might not work. And on the painting I did before that was kind of similar to this one, I did not use yellow in the highlights on the trees. It's such a specific detail, but I feel like every little thing makes a difference. nice. I'm having fun. I'm gonna pick up the little, what's it called, panel. I'm gonna pick up the panel, show it up close to the camera so that everyone can see what it looks like. Okay, so there's one side. There's the other side. Okay, thanks for looking. What else? Okie dokie. That is very fun. Thanks for looking. Hey Josh, thanks for the applause. Yeah, so I'm gonna step back, kind of get a view from behind the camera so I can kind of try to see what you guys are seeing. It's just the shape of this one tree is kind of bothering me, but sometimes, like, being too nitpicky like that, I'll go through and ruin the painting. So, I'm gonna think if I should add to this. I don't know what to know. Oh, and Robert says the one in the top corner is lovely. This one? This one? This one? This one? Oh, the painting? This painting? I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to, Robert. I'm trying to... The one in the top corner, the one tree, or the one painting, or the one mountain, or... Oh, the purple painting. Thank you. Yeah, it was painted live here on air. Probably a couple weeks ago. Okie dokie. Okay, I think I'll go ahead and try to extend that tree just a little tiny bit. I'm not going to try to get too crazy or redo it. Just a few little lines. Maybe try to even out the shape. Hey, Gabe, hi, thanks. I think I need to switch to. Oh, Robert says I'm at work. Gotta go. Looks great. Thanks, Robert. I'm gonna switch to an even smaller brush because what I'd like to do now is go ahead and add some of these white highlights that I kept talking about. Mandala Art Mix says, hello. Hello there. Nice to see you. Oops. So I am going to add, I want to take this turquoise color and add a little bit of white to it, and that will be what I use for some highlights here. Because I do still feel like, even though I've added highlights using yellow, it's still kind of dark. Now adding a little bit of white. Nice little, very light turquoise color here. And I'm just going to go, just adding very, very small. Very, very light, gentle. So that is a line of white highlights on one side of that tree. Probably want to do just not quite as many, but just a few little white highlights on the other side. So. I just always want to imagine what the light might actually be doing. And the light's probably bouncing off of all the branches on one side because they're facing whatever the light source is. But then a few of these branches on the other side might also be reflecting some of the light. Okay, and let's do the same thing on the other trees. Okay, and a little bit. Hey there, hey Tupton, come on now. And Gunza, nice to see you. Going start to finish on a landscape, sort of abstract, but mostly landscape painting today. So right now, just adding these white highlights to the same size of the trees. Pepper, this way, Pepper. That's my dog. She's not very well trained because she has me as her mom. I'm like, I'm a good painter, not a good dog trainer. Okay. So I added a little water to the brush. Now it's a little too watery, but I'm just going to go with it. See if it will help me for work out. Yeah, that's alright. Interesting. And Josh says, I just noticed the sunlight magenta reflected in the mountains. Love it. Thank you. Very exciting, I agree. Very fun. Makes for a very colorful painting. Okay. Pepper, no. I'm on a live broadcast. Just, yelling at my dog. It's fine. Okay. I might need to go put her inside because she's being very loud today. And the leaf blowing finally stopped. So then my dog started barking, I guess. Alright, you guys. Let's keep it going. I'm going to do this little side white highlights. Oh, and the other thing is I'm doing this side really strong white highlights and this side really strong white highlights on this side because I'm assuming that the light source is coming from right here. So, and I kind of did that because the mountains have their kind of reflective areas on this side. There's a leaf blower. There we go. For some reason, I keep accidentally adding way too much light color to that area, and I really need to stop, so I'm going to try to darken it back up. Yeah, that's good enough, I think. I think sometimes Happy Little Disasters definitely add a little character, so that's fun. I'm gonna start saying stuff like, nature is not perfect, so why should we be? I don't know. I'm trying to be Bob Ross, I guess. Okay. Where next? Let's see an area. There's a little spot. Just one little spot over here that I don't think has enough. Hey Vic, I don't think it has enough of these little highlighted spots. Add that back in. And I'm going to, Vic says, looks like my next vacation spot. Is it somewhere specific, or are you just saying it's somewhere that you're imagining? Mixing up a color here to sign my name. There's some happy little clouds. Let me tone those down just a little bit. Oh, Vic. Vic says he's imagining this spot. I can tell you where this reference photo is from if you want. What's reference? Oh, the reference photo is from Banff in Canada. I've never been there, but someone posted a photo of it a couple of years ago, and I saved it and started painting photos. Let's see. Honestly, it reminds me of a scene from Twilight the movie. Oh, cool. I wonder if they filmed it around there. That's interesting. Right now I'm just going through and trying to cover up anything I might see that's left over from the printed photo that was on the panel before the painting got on here. Walkie socks joined. Hello. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I don't know about the Twilight movie. I don't know where it was filmed or. I don't know, this kind of looks a little bit like a nighttime scene, so I think I might want to add a moon, but I'm going to find something to use as a stencil. So, let's see what I have. I like the size of the bottom of this cup base. And let me find the white paint, and then I'm going to go ahead and paint a little moon. Okay, there's my outline for the moon. And I need to cover up part of this because the part of the moon stencil get a little bit wild, so I'm going back over it. And now I'm going to fill it in with some white paint. Still going, just filling in this moon with white paint. They're like kind of weedy. Oh, here's some. Nettie's here. Hey, Nettie. Carla's here. Hey, Carla. Nice to see you guys. Yeah, this leaf blower has been going for at least an hour. But so have I. Okay, so just finishing filling in the solid part of this moon. Okay, and to make a moon texture, I'll add other colors and do my little dabbing motion that I do with the brush. So what color? Let's see, I think maybe a tiny bit of yellow and a tiny bit of pink will make like a really interesting moon color. Of course, mixed with the blue and white that's already in there. So I'm getting a tiny bit of yellow Or a lot of yellow. There's a bird in the trees nearby that's making really funny stuff. A little tiny bit of yellow. I'm gonna put it in my palette here. a tiny bit of pink. Almost just knocked down the paint water. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be great. So let's see how it works. So the next thing about this moon is that it has colors of white, turquoise, pink. Oh, the pink being mixed with, the magenta and then the yellow. So it's kind of a nice blend of the colors that are also used in the mountains, just in different saturations. So let me do a little bit more, and then I'm going to pick it up and show it a little bit closer to the camera so that y'all can see what's happening. Okay, so that is quite a bit of texture in one little area, so I'm going to pick it up, show the cameras up close. So there's that little moon with all of its nice little textures there. So thanks for looking, and yeah, it's got all the colors that are in the mountains, but it's just a lot more subtle, so it's kind of fun. And I'm just going to see if I can even out the edges a tiny bit. Alright. Thank y'all so much for joining today. This has been so much fun, and as always, please feel free with any questions. If there's anything that you saw or didn't see that you'd like to have clarified or would like to know more about, let me know. I'm available over You're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or Twitch. I'm here. I'm here to answer questions about painting, about being an artist, and or you can bring them to the next live broadcast. So, once again, I'll see you soon. I love you guys. Bye bye.